What's going on, everybody? It is the one and only Q here from Retro Q Gaming, and we're going to talk a little bit about next gen, simply because we have to. We have to talk about next gen. It is simultaneously at the same time, it is a great, transparent marketing message out there, but at the same time, it's also a complete flustercook because it's just completely all over the place. Despite the transparency and announcements and all, there are still mixed messages. There are still questions that are ambiguous. There's still it's just a bit of a disaster anyway. So what are we talking about in this video? Well, something that has been thrown around a lot when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series L are two different terms: backwards compatibility and upgrades, next gen upgrades, if you will. Now, Microsoft have done a bit better job at this and conveying their point across by completely just making up a brand new term, if you will. It's a marketing buzzword that people can latch onto. That one is smart delivery. Now, we're not going to get into the full details of smart delivery here, but I do need to stress one or two specific points about backwards compatibility and smart delivery before we go on any further in this video. So, taking out a couple of extra improvements that Microsoft are making for backwards compatibility on the Xbox Series L. For example, they are programming games to run higher resolutions, higher frame rate to take advantage of the power. Some games are getting proper patches and all as well. There's the auto-simulated HDR. Removing all of those completely, backwards compatibility in its proper base form will allow you, or should allow you at least anyway, to use your existing previous generation version of the game on the next generation hardware, and it will run equal in both resolution, quality and frame rate to your original version. It is essentially running it as the original version. Now, like I said, there's a bunch of other additions Microsoft are doing, but backwards compatibility on its base core level is what we just described. And there's also smart delivery, which is a system that Microsoft are offering to developers. It is an opt-in, non-100% mandate for the console, so it's on a game-by-game, publisher-by-publisher basis. And what smart delivery allows you to do, if the company has opted in and that version of it is available, you can get the original version of your game, put it into your next generation version of the console, and you will get a free upgrade. It will download the upgraded version for you. So you'll get access to all the higher resolutions, the higher frame rates, the ray tracing, the higher quality assets, shadows, textures, yada yada yada. You'll be getting the next gen version for free as an upgrade. Now, because smart delivery is not a console-wide mandate, naturally some developers have been opting out of this, some developers have been offering different versions of this, and some of them have just been deciding to charge you for next generation upgrades in some way, shapes and forms. For example, I believe it's FIFA and Madden from EA will not be using smart delivery. However, they will be offering you free upgrades through a different process. We've also seen other games as well, like Cyberpunk 2077, which is smart delivery compatible. So if you buy an Xbox One version, put it into your Xbox Series L when the next gen version is available, and you will get the Xbox Series L next gen version downloaded to you. And we've also seen a different version of it as well, before the one we're talking about today in this video. But the other one we've seen is where their companies are offering reduced upgrades, if you will, reduced price upgrades. The one in question here is NBA 2K20, or is it 2K21? I don't keep up with sports games. Where if you buy the base Xbox One version, for 60, 70 euro, whatever it is, you do not get the upgrade to the next gen version. However, if you buy the collector's edition, I believe it's called a Mamba edition, I did talk about it once before, but, well, I don't keep up with console, or well, with sports stuff, so they just kind of fade out. If you pay more, in this case it would be almost twice as much at $100, that one unlocks the extra upgrade for next gen for you. So a variety of companies are doing it in a variety of ways, and now we're seeing something especially scummy and especially shitty. Worse than pretty much any of the ones you've seen before or that have been announced before. And that is Control. You might remember Control. It was the completely average and slightly subpar even towards the end shooter from Remedy, that company that used to make amazing games but now just make stuff like this. So Remedy and 505 Games, which is the publisher of it, have confirmed that there will be a next generation version upgrade path option available. Wow, that was a mouthful of words. However, there's a couple of caveats, and these caveats completely shit on people who have already purchased the game. because this next generation upgrade pack is only available to owners of the Ultimate Edition of Control. And you might be wondering, Q, there is no Ultimate Edition of Control. What are you talking about? Well, you are correct, because it has just been announced today that there is an upcoming release of it's essentially a Game of the Year edition. It comes bundled with Control, the base game, and both DLCs. Not to be confused with the digital deluxe version of the original one, which came with the season pass and the game, despite it being the same thing. But and I hesitate to use the term free here, so let's just call it the next gen upgrade, is locked to owners of the Ultimate Edition only, which is going to launch physically and digitally on Xbox One and PS4 at some point in September. So essentially, if you already own Control on Xbox One or PS4, and no matter what version of it you've bought, be it the digital deluxe with the season pass or a physical version and then get a digital season pass or whatever it is, you're completely shit out of luck, and they're forcing you to rebuy this game if you want to play the next gen version of it. And it feels especially egregious when it comes to Control, simply because that game ran like absolute arse on a PS4 and an Xbox One. I mean, all games on the consoles do, but this especially. But overall, I think this is a complete bullshit move by Remedy or 505 Games or the combination of both of them, whoever is in charge. It just feels so scummy that they're completely locking out existing owners and forcing people to buy these next-gen upgrades. It's just a joke, if you will. It feels like a way to get around the mandate that Microsoft did put out. And that one was that companies cannot sell next-gen upgrades as DLC microtransactions. But what do I know? I'm a PC gamer. My library is eternal and it gets free upgrades every time I get new hardware. Forever.